everyone, and welcome to our monthly fireside chat, Paizo Live, where our creatives come and tell us about the really cool projects they have coming. My name is Rue, and I use they, he, or z pronouns, and I'm Paizo's marketing and media specialist.
And I'm Maya. I'm Paizo's new community and social media specialist. And I use the they pronouns, and this is my first time hosting Paizo Live.
Welcome! I'm so excited to have you.
Me too. I'm so excited that I get to host it for my first time with you, Rue, because you have been amazing in my time at Paizo.
Thank you, and I would like to thank you for taking over my tech duties last month, because last month Paizo Live was on my birthday, and I was somewhere else.
And I refused to talk to you, and I didn't. I wish you happy birthday. I refused to bother you with work. I was like, I am not asking Rue any questions, and I hope you had a really awesome birthday.
I did! Thank you!
Good.
Yeah. Now, one of the traditions that we have here on Paizo Live, which I'm also going to foist upon you, is that before we bring our guests on and talk about what they're going to talk about, I get to ask you, my friend and coworker, who I don't get to talk to very often, if you've played any fun games recently.
Honestly, so I am always playing Overwatch, and I'm going to take this opportunity, since it's my first time on Paizo Live, to talk about how much I love Overwatch, and then I'll never do it again, I promise. But, I'm always playing Overwatch. I met my best friend playing Overwatch, who I now live with. I know it's a garbage game, but it's my favorite garbage dumpster fire game, and I play it all the time. I stream on Twitch also every Saturday and Sunday morning, and I have 1,600 hours on Mercy, and it's gross. So.
I don't get to talk because my wife and I, when we were at different colleges, played Overwatch as our dates. Nice. So I really don't get to talk.
You understand. Oh, and thank you, chat. Thank you for welcoming me. You guys are so nice. Honestly, everyone has been really kind in welcoming me in the forums too, where I spend most of my time in the forums and social media. So yeah, thank you guys. And thank you. Yes, round glasses there. Actually, they have sides. You can kind of see they have sides, but they're really, really small. So they're extra neat. They make me feel more like an alchemist, which is great because the alchemists and kineticists are my favorite classes. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, those that's the game I've usually been playing. That and find out what mysterious thing my dog is eating. That's also always a game that we're always playing as animal abuse.
That is also my cat's favorite game.
Yeah. I was going to ask,
HDMI cable.
What games have you been playing? So you've been playing Cat, why are you eating HDMI cable this week?
Yeah, I've been playing Belladonna, Stop Putting Things in Your Mouth, every cat owner's favorite game.
Every cat owner's favorite game. Number one game of the week.
But also, last week, I went to Gamma, and so one of the cool things about Gamma, which is the trade show sort of for board games and RPGs, is that they have a demo night thing that happens there, and so I got to run our upcoming board game Pathfinder Quest for lots of folks at Gamma. So that's the game that I've been playing recently. And for anyone who is interested, Pathfinder Quest is crowdfunding starting on May 20th. So you can follow the crowdfunding page. I will put the link in the description. It's a cooperative adventure game. I got to play with Thirsty and Eric Mona and Rachel at Gamma, and had a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, and if you forget that date, because it's totally possible, because we're all only human, I will be making a bajillion posts about it on social media, on X and Blue Sky and Instagram and Facebook. So don't worry, we will remind you about Pathfinder Quest.
Woo! Now, to move on to our exciting guests for today. Today I will be talking to Adam Daigle, our narrative director of Pathfinder, about the upcoming adventure path Shades of Blood, which, if anyone doesn't know, is all about vampires. And as a known lover of vampires, I have been waiting for this all week, so I hope you're all ready for me to be really excited the whole time.
I'm personally ready for you to be very excited. I'm also ready to see the art, because I've seen some of it, and listen, Like everything about this adventure just looks so intriguing to me. So I'm also really excited to learn about it. And I will be talking to our beloved Jenny from the Starfinder team, and also a Michael Bramnik will be joining us to pull back the curtain on Guilt of the Grave World, which is the first hardcover adventure coming for Starfinder Second Edition. Big reveal. I wish we had like in you have those quick react sounds.
Yeah, someday I'll program those in for this. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. But yeah, first hardcover for Starfinder Second Edition, super exciting. I mean, I am dyslexic, but I do love books. I mostly consume audiobooks, but when I do consume books, they're hardcover every time. My bookshelf is full of beautiful hardcovers. The tactility of them is just great. So we hope you guys are excited for that coming soon.
And remember, we have a group Q&A at the end, so during any segment that's happening or even between segments, drop your questions in the chat and our moderators will pick them up and grab them for our Q&A at the end.
In fact, they have already asked about some names, so I'm going to put them in there. We got Guilt of the Grave World. Duh. There you go. That's what it is. We hope you enjoy it. We're pumped.
And Jenny will come to talk about that in just about 25 minutes. But first, I'm going to kick you out so that I can talk to Adam about vampires.
Right. Okay, goodbye. This is where you put like a mysterious hook and it yanks me away. That I'm being yanked. I'm going to yank myself. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye. And now, vampire time. Hello, Adam.
Hey there, Rue. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Now, for those who might not know you, who are you and what do you do here at Paizo?
I'm Adam Daigle. I'm the director of narrative. I've been with Paizo for almost 13 years now, and primarily have worked on the adventure paths.
That's so cool. Sorry, I get really excited about all my coworkers who have been here a while because this is my second year, but everyone who's been here has been so welcoming. Now, the normal question to start off Paizo Live is, have you been playing any fun games recently?
I've been so I've watched all of these Paizo Lives, and most of the time people are talking about either like their campaigns or like some cool video game. And I don't typically play video games, but like a month or so ago, I picked up this farming simulator, and it sounds like nerdy, but it is. So like, I thought it would have some neat little you could like build out a garden or something like this. And no, it's full on industrial farming, and it's like there's a lot of driving tractors and combines and all of that, and one of the things I do is it also takes a lot of time. So I'll just put on a podcast and, drive my little combine around harvesting soybeans or whatever. And I was telling one of my friends, it's so like a normal combine operator, popping in a podcast and driving around all day. It's like, yeah, I guess so.
I don't play those kinds of games because I need 7 layers of stimulation. I need to be fighting something and running away from something all at once. But my wife really likes farming simulators and various other simulator games, so I like to watch other people play them. But yeah, I could imagine just needing a podcast or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty terrible at video games anyway, so the whole coordination thing. So this is nice and simple.
Now, I have brought you here to talk about my favorite thing in the world, which is vampires. But first, why don't we talk a little bit about Shades of Blood in general? What is this new adventure path?
All right, so Shades of Blood is so we always do have these this is the one that, and this is the one where a group of ancient vampires try to blot out the sun using Aslanti Magitech. And I don't want to go too spoilery, but I don't think I'm going to say anything that hasn't already been in the product descriptions of, that are on the site. But yeah, there's a couple of examples of Aslanti Magitech there. That first one is the Aslanti engine. And I'm going to save that because that is a spoiler. But the other one is a pin panel. So like those ones where you put your little hand in it and it leaves the impressions of your hand. Well, it's a monitor that operates that way. So it's all completely mechanical, but it can do fancy things. But anyway, back to the. Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
no,
I have a question. Did this vampire stick their face into it?
Well, it can represent what it's looking at. So yeah, that's
because it reminds me of when I was a kid and I had those like toys that were like that, and I would indeed just kind of shove my face into
absolutely.
it.
Yeah,
and
you start with your hand and then it's your face. That's the natural progression. All right, so yeah, Shades of Blood. It is a mega dungeon. It's a big dungeon crawl, and it definitely deals with vampires. But instead of doing like and I feel like we've talked about the vampire thing, and I don't want to like disappoint anyone because it's not the like creepy gothic castle style, but it's still very much vampire adventure path. It's just set in the backdrop of a ruined Aslanti prison that had been hit by Earthfall 10,000 years ago, and the little pockets of communities that have built up throughout those ruins, one of which was a couple of groups of vampires. And the main villain of this one was imprisoned in stasis, and the stasis pod survived Earthfall, but about 4 or 5 years before the beginning, or a few years before the beginning of the adventure path, their stasis pod is cracked open, and they find themselves in a very strange place 10,000 years after they were locked up. But the one thing they do know, aside from like where they are and what all that, is that they can feel that their lover from back then is still alive and is somewhere far off to the east. So their main motivation at this point is to get out of this prison and make their way across the ocean, which is a problem all of its own. But that really dangerous sun sticking up there in the sky is the biggest hindrance. So Niska here seeks to remove that from play.
When we met to have the trailer meeting for this, and you described it as a vampire going to find their lover that has been separated from them from 10,000 years, I started vibrating with excitement because not only do I love vampires, but I'm a sucker for star-crossed lovers who also happen to maybe be kind of evil.
Right. I felt like I couldn't do a vampire story without at least a little tinge of like forlorn romance in there somewhere.
Absolutely. So in terms of this adventure path, I know that a lot of people have been asking questions about level because it's a lower level adventure path, but it's a vampire adventure path. So how do you sort of balance the fights and encounters in a vampire adventure path for lower levels?
It was a little tough. It was a little tough trying to make sure that you aren't fighting above your level too much, and also not like watering down the enemies too much to make it just unsatisfying. To that point, when you're at first level, you're not going to fight a vampire at first level. We have to kind of ease you into that a little bit. And then I like to think that we put enough signposts throughout to where people are going to prepare their characters for that. So they're not going to, no, I don't think anyone's going to go into this adventure path completely ignorant of what they're planning on going to do. Now, it starts off in a way where that's not what your characters are expecting. So there is going to have to be a little bit of like suspension of disbelief for the players to build a character, because the premise is that they were hired by an astronomer to witness a rare celestial event, and they're brought out to one of the isles in ruined Aslant. Just so happens to be one that we've seen before, but in that the PCs need to go along with like, okay, yes, I'm going out to be a research assistant for an astronomy project, and then things go poorly, as we're seeing here on the screen.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is my favorite astrological event, bats. Lots lots of shadows.
And I'd be a liar if I didn't say that the idea of witnessing a celestial event and then having something cover the sky was not informed by my living in the Pacific Northwest for the last 13 years.
How was that solar eclipse that you didn't get to see because it was totally foggy outside?
Exactly.
But yeah, so you said that these adventurers are hired by a researcher and then this happens. What might I ask is the researcher's response to a normal celestial event turning into blotting out the sun?
Well, she kind of pivots to like, hey, it would probably be a good idea to figure out why, like, what is going on with all of this. So I'm sure she was bummed about not getting to witness this real event, but being scientific minded is very, she very much motivates the PCs to work with other people in the community to try to figure out what is going on here.
Very cool. Sorry, I'm going to swap us back to there. In terms of sort of, we're going back to Aslant, you mentioned, which we haven't explored an adventure path in a while. So what can people sort of look forward to seeing in terms of Aslanti culture and technology and sort of jumping back to those things that have been destroyed since Earthfall?
I tried to... So I set this in a little community called Talmendor's Bounty, which is some place that we've been before with the Ruins of Aslant Adventure Path. And in that, I just wanted to have, instead of creating a new settlement on a new island out there, I wanted to go to a place that some of our readers might have some sort of experience with. And also, it's got a very vibrant community already there, so why not? And it was really fun to update it over the past 8 years, to which I got it. There's in the first volume, Thirst for Blood, written by our own Luis Loza, who I'm certain is in chat right now. And there's a gazetteer in that volume of Talmendor's Bounty now, and I had that written by Jim Groves, who wrote the original one 8 years ago, and it was really great. He had taken kind of a bit of a break from writing for a while, and it was cool to kind of drag him back into it.
Oh, that's so cool. It reminds me of when I worked on Curtain Call with James Jacobs. He brought back someone who had written a theatrical thing like 10 years prior. He brought back Richard Pett, which was very cool.
Nice.
But yeah, I really I love that the narrative team always has such really cool, deep roots to dive into. Another question that I wanted to ask, and this is mostly for me, how did you and the team decide on Vampire Mega Dungeon? Like, how did you get there?
Okay, there's a little bit of part of it totally falls down to the schedule and us having a whole lot of things going on. And so, yeah, I had to jump back into the seat of being the lead on an adventure path, which I hadn't done in quite a while. Just because, we're just busy. We're busy in the narrative. We make a lot of stories. And so deciding on that, one of the things is that, on a completely practical level, developing a dungeon crawl is a lot more simpler than a weird, crazy, complex political mechanism, all of that. So it was like, okay, well, I can pull off a dungeon crawl, no problem. And it was just, and we thought about where we were going to put it, and we named a few spots in Avestan, and then maybe some Tian Sha, and we looked around, and I was like, I wouldn't mind going back to Aslant. There's plenty of ruins there. It's nothing but ruins. And so, and it was a place I was already familiar with. So it's something that, I did all of the groundwork of building up what Ancient Aslant looks like to people exploring the ruins of it now. So that just felt like a good, comfortable thing. And I honestly don't know what made me pick vampires, except for I enjoy that. Or maybe I'm trying to remember the order of operations. Did I have the idea for blotting out the sun and went, oh, well, of course a vampire would do that. Or I think I just wanted to do vampires. And so I threw it in the mix. I was like, okay, doing a mega dungeon, doing it in Aslant. What's something that could have been around that whole time? Boom, vampires.
Boom, vampires.
Vampires! That poor person. At least they're distracted now.
Yeah,
So they can get
but
away.
I don't know where they're gonna go.
That's true. Well, that's why the Iconics need to beat up those vampires.
Once you get to sort of like this higher level, on top of the, usual like vampires and various sub-vampire groups, I imagine there are some pretty cool NPCs they're going to cross paths with too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's also not just vampires. Something else that I have in there is, so Niska, the villain, aligned with somebody that was leading a group of Darrow that lived down there. And Darrows also have sensitivity to the sun. So the idea of, hey, what if we work together to help tweak this machine to make shadows span across the sky? And the Darrow was, of course, happy to do that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you flip to the DEG one if you've got that.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me swap over and flip here. Here's
There he is. So yeah, that's Niska's companion in this plan to repurpose a bit of Aslanti Magitech into the device that will shadow the sun.
I love how wild scientist this person looks.
And that clutched together weapon thing.
Yeah, I was about to ask you if the thing in his hand was a weapon or his hand, because it's so interconnected.
Well, it's not his hand. He does have a hand. He has two purely functional hands. So, that's his little weapon, and it got a little Super Soaker vibe. But I would not want to get hit by it.
All right. Well, I have one more image that I want to show,
Okay.
and it's specifically because you put them in, and you said we don't need to show these, but they are cute little guys. And
I figured people would like it. I know the audience likes cute little guys.
it's
There
me.
we go.
I like cute little guys. Please tell me about these cute little guys.
I did not request either of these specifically. These are all the work of the authors. But the one that looks suspiciously like one of our old dead Aslanti gods is a poppet that was, created as a doll of a Kavna. But I don't want to spoil exactly what's going on with that little poppet, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And then the other, that's Speckle. Speckle's a homunculus, and the cool things about homunculi is that you can kind of make them however you make them. And this little fella's got 3 eyes and shiny wings.
I love that the homunculi look kind of like potatoes. It makes me so happy.
Oh, it's a baked potato, and that's the foil that was wrapped around the baked potato.
That is literally what I thought when I put this into the image. I was like, "Ooh, he's got foil wings."
Oh, that's pretty good. I didn't put that together before, but I like it.
But yeah, so I want everyone to know that in our dark vampire dungeon, there are still cute little guys.
I've been at this a while. I got to give the people what they like.
One of our traditions also on Paizo Live is that at the end, I ask you for a spoiler. So what is one thing you would like to spoil for us about Shades of Blood?
Oh, I didn't think of this ahead of time.
Oh, no. You can wait until the Q&A if you want to.
No, I've got it. And this, I put in a Starfinder Easter egg. That's kind of all I'm going to say. There happens to be certain groups of humans shared between the two worlds. And yeah. I put in a little Starfinder Easter egg.
Oh, I'm so excited, and now I'm going to be thinking the entirety of when the next segment happens and Starfinder is talking.
Hooray! See, that was a good scene,
It's a wonderful segue.
There. Yeah.
But yeah, so we will bring Adam back in about a half hour after the Starfinder segment for Q&A. So if you have questions about Shades of Blood or about Adam's farming simulator, put them in the chat. And we will see Adam in about 30 minutes.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
In the nation of Shenmin, spirits and monsters stalk the depths of Specterwood, and ghost towns outnumber those inhabited by living souls. But this was not always the case. Over 100 years ago, the Age of Lost Omens began in Tiansha with the collapse of the mighty Lunghua Empire, an event that left the small towns of Shenmin isolated and forced their citizens to become self-sufficient or fall to ruin. Willowshore was one such town. Founded to support the construction of a remote mountain monastery, Willowshore soon transitioned over to a lumber town, and like so many others, it was forced to fend for itself in the years after the Empire's fall. Not 2 years later, the records speak of a mysterious curse that fell upon the town, and while details of what took place have been lost to time, the events of Willowshore's Season of Ghosts will now be told. The Season of Ghosts begins during the first days of summer, and is a time when the unquiet spirits of Specterwood grew particularly restless. The townsfolk of Willowshore celebrate this with a night of feasting on the last day of spring, but when a group of heroes wakes the day after, they find their hometown under siege. Fog shrouds the town, and the night sky shimmers under the light of a crimson moon, and monsters now stalk freely through the town's streets. While defending the monstrous invaders and lighting the town's protective eternal lantern could restore Willowshore to safety, these invaders and strange manifestations are only the beginning, as walls of ghostly shapes rise in the surrounding woods. The town of Willowshore has become cursed, and its people must band together if they are to survive the coming year and the horrific monsters they will face. Can the town's newest heroes save their homes, family, and themselves? Or will the Season of Ghosts mean the end for them all?
Shoot for the stars! The Starfinder 2nd Edition play test brings Starfinder into a bright future of cross-game compatibility and intergalactic intrigue. The Starfinder 2nd Edition play test rulebook gives players and GMs a wealth of science fantasy character options, spells, feats, equipment, and more. The playtest rulebook outlines 10 ancestries and, of course, adorable Skittermanders. Choose from 6 classic, the charismatic envoy, a magical mystic, the stealthy operative, the heavy-hitting soldier, and the cosmic-powered Solarian, and the paradoxical Witch Warper. Launch into the play test with the first playtest adventure, A Cosmic Birthday. An adventure for first-level characters. A Cosmic Birthday places characters at the center of a world-changing event in the Starfinder universe. Witness the birth of a new god, battle cosmic horrors in space, and make it back to the party in time. Excited for higher-level play? Dive into the center of blossoming intergalactic conflict in Empires Devoured. Empires Devoured is an adventure for 10th level characters. Characters find themselves on Atuity, witnessing a historic peace talk between Aslanti, Star Empire, and the Veskarium. However, that brokered peace is shattered by a surprise attack and negotiations turn into interstellar war. Fighting against rogue Aslanti operatives, saboteurs, and devourer cultists, the characters must stop the conflict from destroying Atuity and the entire Adalawe star system. Launch into the science fantasy campaign of your dreams with the Starfinder 2nd Edition play test.
All right, time for our second. Oh my gosh! Okay, sorry. I was
Hi!
going to introduce this normally, but Jenny told us earlier that she was going to goth it up for this interview, and this
It's the
is the
goth
first
episode.
time.
Good.
This is the first time that I'm seeing the goth transformation, and I cannot handle it. Okay, back to
Magical girl
regular life.
transformation activated.
Thank you.
Truly, like, you are welcome everyone to the second portion of Paizo Live this evening, where we're gonna talk about Starfinder: Guilt of the Grave World. I'm Maya. I'm back from the void. Thank you. That's it. And Jenny, please go first. Also, to be nice to Mike, who is new to our stream, and also just because, oh my gosh, introduce yourself, please.
Well, hi. I'll go first. I'm Jenny Jarzabski. You all know me, but I am the creative manager of Starfinder. And I've brought a special guest with me today. I have.
Hello there. I'm Michael Bramnik. I'm an author, a contributor to Starfinder and Pathfinder, and also been helping out the Star Friends as a freelance developer on some projects. And I'm the author for Guilt of the Grave World.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, honestly, for coming and joining us. Go ahead, Jenny. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, like, we're not out of the void because Guilt of the Grave World is the main thing we're here to talk about. But please go on, Maya.
Yes, I was gonna say, you're absolutely right. Never mind, we're back to the void. So why don't we talk about Guilt of the Grave World? Look at this art, first of all. My favorite color is purple, and that is purple. So I'm sold. I want 10 copies. Tell us about Guilt of the Grave World.
Perfect, sold. So Guilt of the Grave World is an adventure path. It's all in one book that starts at level 1, exploring the dark secrets of the Grave World, which is the undead planet Eox. This adventure, if you can survive, will take player characters all the way to level 5. And it features this lovely gentleman on the cover, Zoe, an undead media mogul who those of you who have played any Starfinder will recognize. You might even get to learn some of his darkest secrets for a change.
Darkest
Yeah.
secrets. Can you honestly
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit more about Zoe? It looks like the comments were really excited. They recognized him immediately. But for those who don't recognize him, can you tell us a little bit more about Zoe and his role in Guilt of the Grave World without spoiling?
Mike? Yeah, as the author of Guilt of the Grave World, do you want to talk about that a bit, Mike?
Sure. Well, Zoe is he's the sort of the sensational star of the solar system, or of the Pact World system. He is rumors has it that he predates the Gap, that he has been on air since television cameras first were invented on Eox and has been broadcasting for over 1 million hours. Video game shows, death matches, all kinds of media. His show, The Necromancer, I believe it was called in first edition, has been going on for thousands of episodes. And he is the owner of Zoe Media Productions, which is the largest media company in the entire galaxy at this point. And in Guilt of the Grave World, he starts off as someone who the characters don't even really know other than by reputation. And by the end of it, he becomes somewhat of a mentor to the player characters. And yes, I see some comments as he dusted in their Wheel of Monsters.
Yeah. Is there a Wheel of Monsters?
There is a Wheel of Monsters, and if you have not done the Starfinder 2nd Edition playtest, I highly encourage it. It's
oh my gosh, I just started. I haven't gotten to it yet, and now I am going to, I wish I could speed up time. Okay. So many things to look forward to. This is friggin' cool.
It's very exciting. I'm so glad that you're just as excited about this as we are, because we've all of us, like the staff and the contributors who have been helping us out with these books, are just so excited. These are finally releasing soon, so we can talk about them, and people are playing the scenarios. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know I'm new to the Paizo family, but my experience with Pathfinder and Starfinder is solely being a fan. I'm literally a fan who is here. I have played campaigns before, that is my experience. So as far as does this look like a really fun adventure to play? Absolutely the heck it does. I will be playing it myself. I literally cannot wait for it. Can you tell us some more about what your inspiration was for this adventure, Michael? What are some things that help you get together to write an adventure and figure out where you can start in the adventure? Without spoilers, again.
Well, okay, but without giving too many spoilers, I mean, you're handed an outline and you're given the direction where to go. For me, the writing process, very much like when I GM, I find the right music that sort of fits the theme of the adventure. There may have been a lot of synthwave as my background for
That's so
writing
cool.
a lot of this, and for parts of it that Jenny will recognize, there might have been some a little bit of rustic Western rock for part of it.
Yes.
One part in particular that Jenny will immediately already knows. I see actually a few of my players in the chat because I put soundtracks to all of my games that I run.
You do. In fact, you actually GM'd my first Pathfinder campaign as well. So this is like
I did.
It's all coming full circle
that's
in this
cool.
moment.
That's amazing.
Honestly, yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, I majored in film music composition, so the second you were like, "Oh, I had a soundtrack to even writing this," my brain was like, "What?" Like, just the process had a soundtrack. Like, not only can the campaign have a soundtrack, but also the process having a soundtrack. It really gives some perspective on like the mental capacity that it takes to write these adventures, what I think is really cool, and also to let us know like how like the dedication I believe that goes into it as well, like soundtrack even just to the creative process. Like, I don't know, I think it's really freaking cool. Jenny, what are some things that you can tell us about the adventure as well? I know Michael wrote it, but as you are also the creative manager, what are some things about Guillt of the Grave World that you are excited about?
Everything really. I'm really excited because in Starfinder 2, we really want to pull back the curtain and focus deeper on packed worlds and other important locations in the galaxy that we're showing you little previews of. In the past, we have all these first edition books that explore the worlds, but they kind of just, take a peek at these massive worlds, these civilizations full of different peoples, different factions, sometimes different governments on the same planet working against each other. And we really, in Galaxy Guide, we also have, kind of an update and a sampler for you. But I'm really looking forward to books like Guillt of the Grave World that are not just an amazing adventure campaign for you to play from 1st to 5th level, but also just deep dives the lore. So you're going to learn more about Eox. There is an article all about adventuring on Eox. You learn, like I said, more about this character Zoe that so many people already love. If you haven't met Zoe, I mean, I don't know if you'll love him or not, but listen, he's famous for a reason, okay? So like he's got the riz.
Both famous and infamous is what the vibe that we're getting.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, and you know what? What's really cool though is like Zoe has been a very enigmatic character. Everyone knows Zoe. Everyone recognizes Zoe. He's this big celebrity, and he is infamous because he's associated with these sometimes cruel reality shows that are filmed with consenting but living actors that sometimes put themselves into physical danger for the entertainment of audiences, which is immensely messed up, right? But he's also a celebrity who is a household name in the Pact world. It's going to be interesting to learn a little more about this really unique character who has a lot of layers, and you might get to peel back some of those layers if you play your cards right and if you can influence Zoe or maybe his executive staff.
Find out if he's an onion or a parfait, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not all undead all the time. That's obviously a big theme of this adventure, is going to the grave world and getting to explore Eox and, spend some time there and get to know like necrovites that rule the planet and ordinary people that get by. But you do also get to meet some other types of folks. So I'm actually going to tag Michael back in to talk about the next faction that you actually start out working for in this book, this adventure.
Yep. When the adventure begins, you start as you could start off as members of the Starfinder Society or a bunch of other different organizations, but you are pulled into work for the Ulrika Clanhold, which is a dwarven technology and mining conglomerate. And yes, to answers in chat, there may who am I kidding? I'm not going to say there may not be puns and some geology jokes in there, given my background as a geologist.
There were probably many more than made it to print, but they're still there.
There's a billion.
Yes. But that's the process, and that's totally fair. So
And
you
they're
end up
great.
working through it. So this is Rabek Shadraz, who is one of the head miners, and I said miners, not miners. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all night.
Okay.
For who hires the characters to investigate something unexpected that they find in the Diaspora asteroid belt after the birth of the newborn in second edition.
I'm sure that
And
won't be weird and dangerous.
Yeah,
no, not at all. I mean, what
not
weird
at
things
all.
could happen after the birth of a new god just in your own solar system? And that's what
It'll be
kicks
fine.
things off.
Wow. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
because
Yeah.
after the
Go on.
PCs
Okay.
because after the PCs start investigating that, other people get involved, right, Jenny?
That's right. So the big villains of this story, like in a lot of stories on EOX, there's a certain faction, the Corpse Fleet, that gets involved. This dreaded supremacist undead militia that's just kind of out there in the
That action
vast.
shot is incredible. Like,
Oh yeah,
just
they're coming for you.
I'm in my mind. I'm like trying to, with the shoulders and the hand. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop trying. But I'm trying to put my body in this form at some point before the weekend is over. Definitely.
Well, I hope I'm interested in the result. However,
Yep,
I think that because you're not a corpse folk or
Yeah.
a necrophyte, you probably will have trouble.
Good
so
luck
yeah,
to me.
Good luck.
Tell us more
But,
about
yeah.
this guy. What's going on there? It's incredible.
So without spoilers, this is just one of the this is an example of the type of, undead foot soldier you might face. The Corpse Fleet is, they're going to send troopers after you. They might send fighters like starships after you, assassins. These are all we've got some more art too, I think, of just potential enemies, or I don't know, maybe spies that you could recruit to your cause.
What is that?
Oh,
I
this
love
one.
how you
I'm
just like casually dropped that in. Just let me just slowly put this. Whatever. Tell us about that, please.
This gets a sidebar. I'm gonna let Michael talk about this one a bit.
Yes.
This one is the Bone Flayer. So this one is it's based on something that am I allowed to talk about this one now, Jenny, since it's up here on the screen?
Yeah, go ahead. Why not? Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the other books that I wrote for, which was announced on a previous stream, is the Alien Core, and I wrote a type of creature called the Remote War Machine, which are either autonomous or remotely piloted war machines. Combat and military drones. So the Bone Flayer is a necrovite altered war machine that the PCs are likely going to have to contend with on their mission at some point. Saber-tooth
I mean,
fangs.
I would have to contend with that. Like, if I saw even a wisp of that, I would either want to fight it immediately, or just ask it how it got so beautiful, or like question how it had the audacity to appear and have me this gooped, gagged, and gathered. Like, I cannot. I'm in shock. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm on camera because my jaw is just like on the floor watching this.
The art that I've seen from Guilt of the Grave World has been just top
phenomenal.
notch. The artists did amazing with this book.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. All right. What else do we have? Oh yeah. Can you talk about like some of your favorite things without spoiling before we get to the spoiler moment? Because we will at the end here. Because we also want to talk about the toolbox first.
Yes.
Story. Can you go into that, Jenny?
Yeah, we have a couple things. So first of all, we do want to talk about the toolbox. So in addition to the adventure and having some tools for, adventures on EOX and how to expand out your adventure, maybe even past what's in this story, we have all kinds of options. There's new ways to play undead characters. So you don't have to just fight undead, you get to play them. And I think we have art of there it is, the Shambling Corpse Folk. You can see we're trying to show some varied art. In Starfinder First Edition, we had cool art of corpse folk, and it was all just like kind of goth-looking humans because they were all Elibrians. But
so much,
we want
there's
some
so
other
much
stuff.
fingernail going on.
I know.
It's just there's so much. But honestly, like as churned as my stomach currently is, that is good. At the end of the day, I have an art historian mother, so I know that if the art causes a visceral reaction, that I'm into it. I'm scared,
Yeah.
but I'm into it. I also love the diversity of that. You said you had a lot of human corpses, and now we're branching off to show more corpses. What's
Yes.
better than human corpses? Corpse
Exactly.
diversity.
Yeah. So we have different types of corpse folk. So that is a playable versatile heritage there. We also have one for an ancestry for Elibrians, who are the living, although many of them have come back as corpse folk and other types of undead who lived on Eox before a magical weapon just completely ruined its atmosphere, which is the reason undead live there now.
Okay.
So we've got some new playable options, and we've got some cool items that Michael came up with, including one that I know he's going to want to talk about that is just super cool. I think you've got the art for the bobblehead.
I was going to ask if it was a bobblehead.
The
oh
bobblehead.
My gosh!
I've heard
Shay, the zobblehead.
Yep, I heard that it has been named the Zobblehead.
The Zobblehead.
Its name is a magical item called the Bone Speaker Bobblehead, but I think I like the Zobblehead better.
No, gotta be Zobblehead.
I was thinking to myself when I was creating magic items for people to use, that I'm thinking, in a fantasy world like in the world of Galarian, people use religious icons and holy symbols and talismans that they wear or wield to create magical effects. So I'm thinking in a modern or futuristic world, what sort of icons and things that we have around us could do the same things. And I'm like, okay, well, if you want to invoke the personality of a person, and I just imagined, a bobblehead doll sitting on like an Uber driver's dashboard, and I said, who would be better to represent this than Zoe? So this is an item that will come up in the adventure. It is in the toolbox, which means those who participate in Starfinder organized play might be able to get their hands on them and carry them around as well.
That is a masterpiece. These are live jaw drops, audience, by the way. Like, I wish I am not, like, I wish I was acting. Like, this is literally just me shook every time. This is so cool.
And I'm pretty sure I see Mark Moreland in the chat, so you might have to talk to him about this if people are out there and have ideas. But this would be a great merchandising opportunity if someone wanted to create a Zobblehead for sell them as real merchandise.
We all need Zobbleheads in our lives.
We do.
Sorry for the extra work, Mark.
I don't think I can crochet a bobblehead, so we have to get someone else to make that. That is so cool.
Try though.
I could try. Honestly, I might. I made a cat halfway through and gave up, and my dog ripped the head off of it. And for a second there, it was a great cat bobblehead. So maybe I could give that a try. That is honestly so cool. Okay, so now we want to talk about the special announcement, though. We have a pretty exciting Starfinder thing coming up. Jenny, do you want to talk about that?
We do. So a lot of people have been asking about when we're going to have another Starfinder playtest, because we said we would have one next year, which is now this year. Funny how that happens. Time does continue to flow.
Linear time, bane of my existence.
As hard as I try. I wish I was a precog. Anyway, we're a wish flipper now. So you and me both. But so we are very excited to announce that April 21st will be the date we're launching our tech class playtest. So on April 21st, you're going to get to test out our SF2 versions of the Technomancer and the Mechanic. And if you check out starfinderplaytest.com, you can see we have a spiffy new loading page. Thanks, Marissa and the tech team, for setting that up for us. That will soon be uploaded on the 21st, April 21st, with surveys as well as the documents that you can download for free to check out those classes and get to playing.
I think everybody is really looking forward to that. We've had a lot of buzz about it in our forums and our social media. And also, I will be making sure to announce more timelines for this playtest in the forums myself, in the announcement section of our forums. Last time there were some people who missed that the Impossible playtest was ending. Not going to happen anymore. We're going to tell you all the time. We're going to tell you about all the cool things going on with the Starfinder tech class playtest. You guys are going to really, really dig this. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Do you guys want to? I think now is the time when you say one spoiler. One spoiler. But there's two of you, so I don't know. Can we cheat? Do you get to say 2 spoilers? I'm not sure, but I guess technically it's just the one spoiler. So please give us one spoiler about Guillt of the Grave World.
I mean, I can say that we put a Pathfinder Easter egg in Guillt of the Grave World and spin it back on Adam.
There you go.
The tables have been turned.
We do have a spoiler.
You do? Okay.
Yes, which is that, so Michael has been, in addition to, he wrote Guillt of the Grave World for us, and he's also worked on some aliens that are appearing in our monster book, Alien Core. He did some development as well, so that means he kind of worked with us on taking creatures that other authors wrote and helping develop them. And I thought for a fun spoiler, I could let him tell us what one of his favorites of those were.
Putting me on the spot.
Yes, as always.
That's no. All right, fine. Let's see. Because oh man, everything that I did development on was really good, though. If I had to pick one, I would say that the space nymphs were probably my favorite. So in Pathfinder, in the world of Golarion, nymphs are sort of primal spirit creatures who inhabit things like trees and rivers. But the author who did them for Starfinder 2nd edition took that concept and elevated it really perfectly into sci-fi. So they're still primal spirits, but now they inhabit stars and asteroids and black holes. And just the update to their lore and the powers that go with them was just fantastic, and I loved it. So those were probably my favorite thing that I developed.
Yeah, now you know that there's going to be space nymphs and also like a lot of other cool monsters or monsters that Michael says are cool.
I like it's also giving me like,
it's gonna be so hard to wait, but it's gonna be worth it.
I work here and I'm so stressed about it, being excited about this. Like, I also have an aggressive need to get more dice because all my dice are like space themed. So I'm like, and now there's space nymphs. So I need dice specifically for these space nymphs. This is a new requirement.
You need glitter space dice now.
I already have like 3 sets. No, I already have like 3 sets of glitter space dice. Like, don't even get me started. But
fair.
Yeah,
that means that I need a force. That's all that means.
Also overloading with Maya, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Happy to enable you, Maya, on buying
Please,
dice.
All day. Literally, like I need dice with like Zoe's head inside. Like I need all of these things.
Double dice.
That's not a spoiler because I just made it up. Maybe I manifested it. Who knows? But it's not real. I am not giving spoilers. I'm just saying things that are coming off the top of my head. But thank you guys so much for talking about this. This has been obviously very exciting for me, and I hope it's also been really exciting for the audience too. Yeah,
and thank you for having me on.
Of course, and thank you, Jenny, of course, and thank you for taking the time to goth makeover yourself in the span of like 20 minutes. Like, folks at home, round of applause for Jenny. I'm gonna give a round of applause for Jenny. That's incredible work. Thank you so much. So now we're going to go to our ad break before we get back to our Q&A. Rue will bring everybody from Paizo Live back onto the stream, and we will ask the questions that our moderators have been aggregating from chat for both Pathfinder and Starfinder. So we will see you after this break.
Bye.
Welcome, friends, to the Greenwood Gala, where all the people of the forest, even talking animals like me, come together to celebrate everything wonderful about nature. We get to know each other, have fun, and respectfully share ideas. Here in the Verdurin Forest, the Treaty of the Wildwood protects nature. It lets our neighbors harvest a few trees, conserve the rest, and all in all keeps everyone peaceful, warm, and happy. This is a pleasant place, full of wonder, where everyone gets along. Wait, what's that? Well, I mean, the treaty keeps the arboreals happy, so they would never... Oh, nope, they look angry. Surely the Fae of the forest understand that... Oh, this isn't good. I can't remember the last time that... Oh no! Everyone needs to hold up for a minute. We can talk this through. Wait, no, not like that. Okay, the Verdurin Forest is always fun and cheery, but this is getting out of control. Get some negotiators. Meet with the lumberjacks and druids. Smile a bunch. No, this is not how we're supposed to negotiate. This shouldn't be happening. We're supposed to be gathering, sharing, having fun. And now, everyone's tearing apart the treaty. Maybe we need some new faces. Some fresh ideas. Someone who's gonna make things right. Hey, maybe some Wardens of Wildwood.
I woke into a broken world. Thousands of years after my freedom was stripped from me by the Empire. We were too much for them. They feared us. While locked away in the haze of stasis, the god Nin spoke to me. They instructed me to overcome obstacles and my own limitations. When I awoke in the bowels of this prison, I felt you, far to the east, and I longed to be with you again. And I was hungry. Oh, so hungry. I needed blood. Thankfully, there were others down here similar to me. Some were brutish and violent, while others languished in some mockery of what would pass for high society within the Aslanti Empire. Boorish as they were, they had plenty of food. So I stayed and fed while I plotted escape. Walking out of this prison is easy, but for what purpose when exposed to the burning gaze of the sun? So I sought to remove that obstacle. This machine will allow me to shade the sun so that I can walk outside freely whenever and wherever I want. Despite setbacks, I'm close to completing this task, and then I will join you. I know that you can feel my presence too. Across time, across the ocean, I will find you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Adam. It shouldn't just be you. There we go. Hello! Welcome back, everybody. I had a really fun time watching the Starfinder segment and getting excited about space nymphs, so I'm glad that everyone else did too. Also, I love that both of your spoilers, technically, Mike got a special second spoiler, were read this adventure to hear about a thing from Starfinder, and read this adventure to hear about a thing from Pathfinder, which is very exciting, and also might have something to do with Aslant and Aslanti empires.
It's probably anyway, a good guess.
Welcome back to our Q&A.
Possible.
We've got a handful of questions from
Yes,
our
we do.
chat. And also, remember, folks, you can still drop them in here during this time.
Yes,
we will try to get to as many questions as possible, but we may not get to all of them. Maya, would you like to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yes, I can go first. I will ask Adam a question since I didn't get to talk to Adam. So, hey, Adam, how's it going?
Hello. It's going good.
Nice
How are you?
I'm doing great. I am hungry, as you are on a Friday, you know? All right, we've got a question that says, did the Aslanti Empire often try to block the sun? LMAO, question mark.
Well, the Empire didn't. That wasn't like their normal, you know, the Aslanti Empire wasn't into sun blocking. That's more the vampires deal.
Okay, so it's not just like some grand conspiracy situation that has been,
No.
or is it? Dun dun dun. No, but it's.
I mean, the Aslanti are tangentially responsible for Earthfall that kind of blotted the sun out from the entire planet for a while, but that was a whole different story.
You said that so casually, but I feel like it was very large information. I'm just gonna like maybe they're responsible for blocking. You know, it's just that was just a Tuesday. Okay, well, all right, good to know. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. All right, Ruru, would you like to ask your next one? We have a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question for the Starfinder folks since I didn't get to talk to the Star Friends.
Yeah. What's up?
When we announced the Technomancer and Mechanic playtest, but there's something else folks have been wondering about in terms of tech. Should we also be looking for Starship Combat or anything about that coming soon?
Yeah, so we don't have anything to announce on the tactical Starship Combat front, but we do have, in Guillt of the Grave World, we do actually have some cinematic Starship Combats, which if you've joined us on our last little special Paizo Live, where Thirsty and I kind of introduced a bunch of things that are coming out this year and talked about the launch, we did briefly touch on this. Michael had taken a look when he was, when he wrote for Guillt of the Grave World. We obviously don't have tactical starship rules yet, but we knew it was really important that we wanted there to be at least one starship battle or chase or something involving corpse fleet ships, these skeletal ships kind of chasing you down through space. And so, Michael, did you want to talk a little bit about to answer Rue's question, like what you think about our cinematic Starship Combat, since you're one of the few folks outside the team that's had to see it yet?
Yeah, I mean, I got my first look at them, and I mean, I love them. It's, the tactical Starship Combat in first edition was very much like its own separate game. It was like, okay, put your character sheets away, grab a different set of, different character sheet, different minis. This is very much just like, hey, you keep your same character sheet. Now you're still engaging with your character sheet. You're still using your character's abilities. Plus now you have the ship, which is letting you overcome the challenges that you have. And the starship encounters don't just have to be straight combat. Like in Guillt of the Grave World, there is a starship combat straight up. In fact, if your characters choose, you can have multiple combats. Which is something that I love, that when Jenny was developing this, that she kept the spirit of all of these things in, that if your group wants to go at things head on, guns blazing, you can have that play style and it works. But if you want to do something more like one of the encounters I kind of designed with sort of a Hunt for Red October in mind, like, no, let's be stealthy, let's sneak in. The Starship encounter works that way too. You can do infiltration as a Starship cinematic. And it all works with the cinematic system that the Star Friends team put together. And I love it so much.
Yeah, so we've got starships for you, don't worry. And there'll be more coming soon.
All right. You want to grab the next one, Maya?
Yes, I do. Sorry, I'm just I'm listening and that is okay. Starship, that is so exciting, especially that there are the options with that too, because I oscillate between fighting everything I see and avoiding every combat ever. So it's nice to know that the options are there.
We do try to put options in when we can. In most Paizo adventures, like there might be sometimes you have to fight this enemy, but a lot of times there are other types of encounters.
So going back to Shades of Blood, we have a lot of great questions here. Gamepedia asks, what are the shadow bat things? Do we know?
Well, y'all don't know, but we know.
This is such a dun question.
Nah, they're basically critters from the Nether world. They're beings of shadow. However,
really spiky legs.
Wait, did somebody say that I forgot to say the names of the volumes of the Adventure Path and the writers of it? Okay, I'll settle that right now. The first one is Thirst for Blood by Luis Loza. The second one is The Broken Palace by James Jacobs. And the third one is To Blot Out the Sun by Jessica Catalan.
Nice.
Ooh.
I love the titles.
I'm fixing my mistake from earlier for getting too excited.
All-Star Author Cast there. And yeah, those are awesome titles.
Yeah, and also what a stellar or
I see why
Yes?
the mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
the sun is a star,
Yeah.
so maybe not stellar.
But the sun has been blotted out potentially, so maybe okay. Let's ask some Starfinder questions. Yeah, you want to go ahead, Rue?
Yeah, I have a question from Phoebe Bain that says, did you mention, and what were, if you did, the other playable undeads or kinds of undead that you'll be interacting with?
Oh yeah.
Because we showed off we showed off this man, the shambling corpse folk.
Oh, fingernails.
Yeah, the shambling corpse folk.
Fingernails.
Phoebe's asking about other undead options or undead you come across.
So for playable, corpse folk are the only one we're introducing in this. They are a versatile heritage, though. So there are different types and there are different feats you can take to customize them. So you don't have to be rotting. Like, in fact, some of them are very pristine and they're just kind of pale and goth, just however you want your character to be aesthetically. And there's mechanics to back them up. As for types of undead, I don't want to spoil everything, but, there's Zoe, of course. Zoe is a necrovite. Necrovites are basically Starfinder liches. So they're very powerful mages who typically they're Elibrians. In life, they were ancient Elibrians, like way back when, before Eox destroyed itself, essentially. They might be other species as well. You don't have to be a Librian, but they actually, they do a complex ritual and they have something called like an electroencephalon that, it's kind of like a soul cage that allows them to kind of techno-magically store their soul. And it's sort of like this combination of necromancy and technology that we've started to get into a little bit and may have more options down the road. But yes, we dip into that. So you'll meet some necrovites. What other kinds of undead, Michael, do you get to fight or befriend in Grave World?
Ooh, or befriend, yes.
Oh, you don't have to be. Some undead are cool,
Yeah, in the future, undead are part of society, so you don't necessarily have to fight everything. As with all things, as just like with the Starship thing, player agency is important. If you want to take a more diplomatic route, you might find unexpected allies in places. I see someone in chat saying they want a ghoul friend. There might be ghouls involved in part.
Or Halls of the Living is probably a great place for that. Yeah, you can try.
And there might be many types of incorporeal undead.
There's a new one too that you came out. It's not playable. I don't want to talk about it because it's a spoiler, but there is. We don't have that art, do we, Rue?
Do we have that art?
You'll need to tell me what it's called. You can DM it to me if you want. I have 2 more pieces of art from your guys' section that you didn't cover.
Ooh, undead, more like fun dead. Correct.
It was correct. It was the first one that you mentioned of the 2.
I just can't find the tab, and I don't want to take up a bunch of time. Sorry, I'm trying to find the tab.
That one. Yes, read that.
What?
There it is. Okay, I want to spoil it. Okay,
get out of here.
We can spoil it now. This is a creature.
I love this one.
Yeah, so it's called. They're called Faceless, and they. This is something that Michael came up with and designed. Again, they're not currently playable, though. Who knows? Anything can happen in space.
Yeah, wait.
But you'll definitely get to fight or befriend these guys. Do you want to just tell us a couple little things about them since we have the art on the screen?
So they are incorporeal undead who died, lost, alone, and forgotten in the void of space, and they seethe at the fact that their identities were just lost, and no one even bothered looking for them. They were just forgotten. It's just like, oh, just another casualty of space travel, and they long and rage, seeking to have identity. And what's the thing that gives someone an identity the most? It's their face. So they want yours. And they will use their magic and their claws.
And yours.
Reach across the corporeal gap to take your face off. And they will take it and wear it.
Okay, so now is when we reveal, this is not a real reveal, that in Starfinder 2nd Edition, there will be these Slay the House Down Boots stat So I'm ready. I'm gonna roll for a Slay the House Down boots, because do you see this? Do you see this? The heels are like pinpoints.
Yeah,
this is
that's true.
this is absolutely he is eating
There
down.
is there is an Aslanti Aeon Guard in art as well that has stilettos. So just look around.
Yes.
There are a lot of fashionable Starfinder art.
He is
pieces,
eating.
yes.
He is eating down right now.
I love the design, and the more you talked, I was like, oh, this is great, but also horrifying.
Yeah, truly terrifying. I don't want my face stolen.
It's doing its job then.
But I want to talk to them, so I'm just gonna take the risk. Maybe I'll get my face stolen. Oh no, but I will have gone down fabulously, and maybe that's okay with me.
Well, when I meet a creature like that with your face, Maya, I will.
You'll know what happened, and know that I went down happy. Know that it was fine. It was fine. I brought this upon myself, and I am in a better place, wherever that may be. I don't know. But now I look even more fierce, because holy crap.
Yes, Maya, chat says, Shannon chat says, please don't hug the face stealer.
I make no promises. I'm going to ask first, because I like consent, but it's going to get asked. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm going to ask the question. I guarantee you I'm going to ask the question. Okay, let's see. We do have some more. We have some more Pathfinder questions up here too. We have for Adam, are undead character options a good or bad idea for these adventure paths? What sort of options are coming with the player's guide?
Well, the player's guide is going to have, your normal advice on what would be good fits, what are things maybe to avoid. But I would say anything that you're comfortable playing would work fine. This doesn't have any sort of oh, you have to play this type of character. Of course, don't be one of those players that tries to play against type and it's oh, it's going to be underground all the time. I'm going to play a plant that needs the sun constantly. Use a little bit of basic, logic in this. But
I'm hanging my head in I just
undead
like
characters.
Playing plants, and I wouldn't have thought about it. I'm stupid.
But yeah, undead characters. It would be the weird part is with the premise that you're applying to be a research assistant for an astronomy thing.
Oh right.
Skeleton boy signing up. Sure, they don't have to sleep, so they can stay up the whole time. But, you've got to bring some other skills to that. And not having flesh isn't exactly a skill you put on your resume for all jobs.
Sorry, I'm going to go update my resume right now to put it Nikki is a marketing professional who has flesh.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that a negative or a positive? I guess it depends on the job.
Where
flesh?
Does that go on a CV?
Right.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to start crying. All right, Starfinder questions. I need to stop. I'm sorry. I'm laughing a lot.
I'm going to do one last question for the Star Friends. And then we'll probably wrap stuff up so folks can head to dinner and enjoy the rest of their evenings.
Yes.
And I have a question, and it's equal parts fun and actual question. I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong. Koyoldrisa or Koljoldrisa, maybe? Wait, did Jenny just tell us that climate change creates undead? And as a serious question behind that, does this adventure sort of look into what created those undead on Eox, or is that a secret for another time when we explore the gap?
Yes, it does. It does look into it. You can find out more information about all of the Pact Worlds and more in Galaxy Guide, which is coming out in May. But to really unlock everything, to get all the information about what happened on Eox and, why it's like that. Yes, if you play through Guillt of the Grave World, or if you just read it, you will know what happened there. You will know more than probably anyone knows now. about what happened. And yes, in Starfinder, it does turn out that climate change causes undead and also kaiju and also like horrible magical abominations anyway. And they don't listen either. So anyway.
Pros and cons list when? No, obviously bad. Obviously bad. Obviously very bad.
Obviously bad.
I say is I also wanted to slay the house down boots with the face. Like, you know, I feel like there's an argument for a Starfinder pros and cons. What if the monsters are fun, actually?
Basically,
we have
monsters'
fun.
rights and wrongs.
Yes, exactly. Okay,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm going to let our wonderful guests tell us where you can find them, if you can find them. And then I'll also do the same for me and Maya, but we're going to start with our lovely guests. So, Adam, where can folks find you if you want them to find you?
I've got an account for most of the socials. It'll either be like at Daigle, or if that wasn't available, then it'll be Adam Daigle. But as far as places I talk games and will be most likely to talk about this kind of stuff is going to be on our message boards.
Awesome. Jenny?
Same thing. You can find me on Blue Sky as Mecha Space Witch. I will often be on Paizo Lives or around conventions, and you can also find me on the forums and unofficial Starfinder Discord, as well as some other fan spaces like that.
And last but not least, Michael.
I'm also on Blue Sky, Canis Dirus, which is also my handle on the Paizo forums as well.
Awesome. And I have been Rue. You can find me most places on socials as Ilana Knight, or Twitter as Ilana Knight 13. But also you can find me on the Paizo forums. I like to lurk in the blog comments because I love seeing people talk about our blogs. So that's where you'll find me most of the time. And truly last but not least, Maya.
Yes, you can find me anywhere at Britmus309. Which, yes, I named it because when I was a child, I learned that the Mus309 gene makes fireflies glow in the dark, and I thought that was cool. So yeah, it's BritMus309 pretty much anywhere. That's where I play Overwatch too. If you want to play Overwatch with me, add me on BattleNet, BritMus309, hashtag 1905. And for everything Paizo, I am in the forums everywhere. I read so many of those threads. Like, I'm everywhere. Social media also, you ask questions, it's me. I'm everywhere. You can't, unfortunately or fortunately, you can't escape me.
Everyone say thank you to Maya for all the wonderful memes he's been making.
Oh yeah, we've been making memes. Yeah,
Thank you, Maya.
We've been doing fun social media memes. We hope you guys have been enjoying those. It's really hard to make memes because I just have anxiety about if they'll be funny or not. But it seems like people are enjoying them. Thank goodness. So more memes coming. We're gonna post like one meme a week, I think is kind of the schedule at this point. Lots of many memes coming.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. And for those of you who don't remember, Paizo Live happens every first Friday. So we will see you same goblin place, same goblin time on the first Friday of April. And in the meantime, you can keep up by joining our newsletter via our website or hanging out in the forums with all of us. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time.